Welcome to Letters to Rising Leaders. It's a podcast series about God, soul, love, and leadership. And I'm your host, Tom Mohr. If you're joining along in my book, Letters to Rising Leaders, this is week 26, and the topic is Become the Beauty. For the past 12 weeks, we have engaged in the second quarter theme, Who Am I? We've talked about, most recently, Behind the Mask, Beyond Myself, Behold the Beauty. And now this week, the topic is Become the Beauty. How? How do we become the beauty? It isn't through our clothes or our watches or jewelry or our facial care. God's beauty begins inside of us. It's like a moonbeam. It starts in our souls. It enlightens our hearts. And as we change, we begin to become light to the world. And so we become the beauty. Don't we all see God's beauty in childhood? That innocence, infants and young children are beautiful, because they can be nothing other than their true selves. It's only as we get older and we seek to shape our identity to fit some projection of what we want to show the world that beauty can sort of become hidden. Until sometime way down the road, we finally realize how much we long to come back home, to return to our true selves, our original goodness. And then if we finally can do that, when we get to that point, we then are also able to return to our beauty. Now, I want to share a story about two parents and three children. Maureen and Steve Hayes are dear friends to Begin and me. We've known them for 30 years. They have three children, Alana, Brett, and Tess. About a year after Brett was born, Maureen and Steve began to realize something was wrong. They took him to the doctor, and it was confirmed that Brett suffered from a chromosomal abnormality. The news came just as Maureen was about ready to give birth to Tess. Brett's condition was dire. They were told Brett would never walk, nor talk, nor be able to feed or care for himself. Can you even imagine? Maureen and Steve made a decision that day that they would reorder their priorities to care for their child. And they knew it would be a commitment for life. Brett's 34 now. He's never talked. When he walks, he needs someone with him at all times. He needs to be fed and cared for by others. And Brett Hayes is beautiful. Brett's beauty has taught so many so much. Maureen, Steve, Alana, Tess have all been deeply shaped by Brett. Steve serves on the parish council. He's a lector. Maureen brings communion to the shut-ins. They both sponsor small faith-sharing groups. Alana, Brett's older sister, is a special education supervisor. Tess, his younger sister, has written a book about joy and gratitude. And just a few weeks ago, she organized a gathering of winter coats and took them into the streets of Minneapolis to give them out to the homeless. They have been deeply shaped by Brett and his beauty and his goodness. And so too the holy name of Jesus parish community. As he was growing up, the Hayeses went to church every week, and Brett would often move around a lot during Mass, and he'd stand up sometimes and yell even once in a while. And it was beautiful. His innocence, gentleness, purity touched hearts. Brett has taught us all, love wins. When we serve, we are served. Goodness changes the world. Brett Hayes is a leader of goodness, and Brett Hayes lives his beauty every day. How about you? Are you ready to become the beauty, to radiate beauty into this world? I'm going to leave it there. The song for this week is See Joy, Be Joy. It's about the story of the Hayes family. Robert Berry joins me on instrumentals. Enjoy.
They knew it pretty early. Something's wrong with Brett. Doc gave them Brett's prognosis in words of kind regret. They brought back home their baby, a baby ever be. And Brett's young parents cried and said, why him, why us, why me? But tears dried by the morning, and in their place a smile. Their lives lay clear before them. In prayer they'd reconciled. Their lives would be in service to their stricken precious boy. And on that day they promised they'd do it all with joy. What do you do with dreams that never happen? What final letting go is required? How can you make better out of bitter, while sweeping up the hopes that have expired? Go hold your hands and smile and count your blessings. Go trust in the abundant love of God. Each day's a gift when you begin with giving. Go choose to live with joy and love and awe. In church as Brett grew older, he'd fidget and he'd yell. His dad would lead him to the back to calm him for a spell. Brett's every Sunday presence preached a different homily. In his complete dependence, a blessed sanctity. His mom and dad are seniors now, so Brett is in a home. It takes two helpers always. He can never be alone. 3 times a week they visit, their gift from God above, whose quiet, steady, gentle stare is always filled with love. Joyful, joyful, we adore thee, God of glory, Lord of love. Hearts unfold like flowers before thee, opening to the sun above. What do you do with dreams that never happen? What final letting go is required? How can you make better out of bitter, while sweeping up the hopes that have expired? Go hold your hands and smile and count your blessings. Go trust in the abundant love of God. Each day's a gift when you begin with giving. Go choose to live with joy and love and awe. Melt the clouds of sin and sadness, drive the dark of doubt away. Giver of immortal gladness, fill us with the light of day.
Each day's a gift when you begin with giving. Go choose to live with joy and love and awe. Well, that's it for today. I hope you'll join us next week for the next episode in this Letters to Rising Leaders podcast series. As I say each week, leader of goodness, go in faith to love and heal the world.